Alright, now we're going to drop our sleeve in here. I've put my O-ring on, oiled it up with some soap. You want to use a liquid soap instead of oil on them O-rings. You can even use a block of wood and a hammer. This one's worked pretty good. Tap it in until it's flush around the outside. Okay, let me stop. Okay, we got our rings all installed. Now, your compression rings are marked top. Some of them will have a dot, some of them will say top, but they're all marked. They have to go a certain way. The oil ring doesn't matter, but it does matter. Inside the oil ring, there's like a spring coil thing. There's a spot where it's thicker, and then a spot where it's just seamless, and then there's like a wire inside. You want that wire on the opposite side of your seam. I didn't have the camera on, forgot to turn the camera on when I put them on, but you can use these ring compressor pliers. You just grab them, open them up. These don't quite open far enough, so I have to do it by hand. I got my wrist pin started here. Everything's all lubed with assembly lube. Some of these, it matters. If you see here, it says top, or front, I mean. That has to go to the front of the engine. These ones here go straight down, they don't matter, but some of them come around and the cap actually goes on from the side a little bit, away from the, that has to go away from the crank, or the camshaft, so you got to make sure you get that right. And I need to put snapper in there, I forgot to do that. I guess you could put them in after you get your wrist pin in, but a lot easier now. Oh, I hate when that happens. I'm going to make sure that's fully in the groove. We had an engine that the cylinder went bad because that wrist pin broke. Rattled around in there, chewed everything out. Put that in. Get your piston lined up. And slide it right in nice and smooth, just like that. All the way in. Put your other snap ring in. Just like that. Now you might want to take a screwdriver or something, tap around there just to make sure it's locked in. Get one dropper in. Okay, ready to put our piston in. I got my ring compressor on. On the top of the piston, this says front. You got to make sure that's towards the front. In other words, this won't be lined up with your injectors. Oh, I also forgot to show. Oh, I'll lose my balance here. Forgot to show the crank rod bearing. They snap into place just like your mains. You have a little notch you got to line up. I've lubed this with some assembly lube. I've oiled my rings and piston. I've oiled my sleeve. Made sure my crank was centered down on the bottom. I'm going to set this right in there. Nice and carefully. Make sure everything's good and square. Let's just hope she goes. Sometimes you gotta have a little persuasion. Right in. Easy as peasy. Now we'll get down underneath, bolt this one up, push it down a little bit so I can get a hold of it. We'll get it bolted up. Okay, hopefully you're in view here. Pull this piston down, just like that. Take your cap. A little notch on these goes on the same side as the piston. And tighten down your nuts. Okay, when I get to working them, I'll show you how to tighten them down. Okay, ready to put our ring compressor on it. Grab it here. Release it. Open it up a little bit. I'll move the camera. I'm sure you're in the viewfinder there. There we go. Now, very important to make sure your seams don't line up in your pistons, your gaps. And I have found it helps a lot if your oil one is in here, not over here where it's machined. I think that's how I broke one. I think it caught a little bit. That one there. Actually, I want to wipe some oil on. I'm using a chainsaw bar oil. It's sticky. I know it's going to stay on there for a while till I get the motor running. Put more on there. So, have it pre-lubed when it's in the cylinder. And also help it slide out of your ring compressor. One gap there. I'm going to split them about thirds. And about there. That looks good. That's so sticky. I'm going to ring compressor up a little more. Oop, too much. That'll do. If you slide that on, you're not knocking your rings around. Now you want to make sure that's square on the top of your piston. Tighten it down. Just like that. And then we'll drop her in.